Hello students, hope all of you are fine. Uh, Today we will do some basic if functions on MS Excel and a bit on conditional formatting. Now most of you have already known this, but for the practice, I think it's very important. Now in the table we have seen that at 10 people that basic is given, and the formula of DA is nothing but the 50% of basic. That's a very easy formula. The TA is 10% of basic, and the HRA is the 5% of basic plus TA and TA. And then the gross salary is the sum of all these basic plus TA and HRA. So if we drag that from the autofill function, we can get all the figures. Then there is TDS. Now, suppose the TDA is like that, my condition is if it is more than 20,000, then the TDS is 1%. Once again, if the gross salary is more than 1%, then the TDS will be 1% of gross, and for the others, the amount will be zero, means no TDS. So we can see that from that condition that this person, Mr. Virat, the amount is less than 20,000, so his TDS is zero. But for him, the more than 20,000, so TDS is 1% of that, means 210. Now, how we have done that? So I'm actually deleting this whole portion. So we will do it manually. So let's start some if function equal to if, opening the bracket. So my condition is if the gross salary is more than 20,000. So first we will select the gross salary cell, then the greater than sign, then the amount 20,000. Then the condition is end, so it will be close with the comma. Then the output will be 1% of basic. So once again, the gross into 1%. So the first output is closed. So it will be like that. If gross is more than 20,000, the first output will be 1%, and for the others, the second output, comma, 0. So if we see from left, if gross is more than 20,000, TDS is 1% of gross, and for others, it will be 0. So that's a very easy if function. If I press enter, it will be 0. And if I drag that function, then they will show us the output. Now you can see from the output 1% for Mr. Sachin, Mr. Saurav, Mr. Dhawan, and Mr. Kunal. Now the net salary is very easy. It will be actually is gross minus the TDS. So gross minus the TDS. Now you'll be wondering, so why it is red and why some of them are green? Actually, I have applied the conditional formatting here. So let's delete all this and put the conditional formatting as clear loops. So there's nothing here. Now, I want a format like this, that those persons whose net salary actually is more than 20,000, that will be denoted with green, and those persons whose net salary is less than 20,000, they will be denoted as red. So it means we will change the formatting according to my condition. So that is called the conditional formatting. So for that, first select the cells where you want to apply those conditional formattings. Then from home option, go to conditional formatting. Now we are up to the greater than and the less than. So go to the first option, the highlight cells tools. First the greater than. So they will ask for the value. So my greater than value is 20,000. Then they will ask for the formatting. You can go to the custom format. I want to say, okay, blue. It's one of my favorite color. I'm setting it blue. Okay. So you can see those values we are more than 20,000. are getting blue. Now we give you another option. It's another condition. Once again, the same path. Now we are dealing with the less than. So select the less than, to make it 20,000, and then select some another color, suppose red. So it's showing. Now for an example, if I make this as 15,000, so automatically all the value will be changed. Look at the here, it's getting higher. It's more than the 20,000, so it's getting got blue. Now what is the last column? The remarks. Now in the TDS column, we have seen that we had applied the if function on the numerical field. Now the if function can be applied with an alphabetical field, with an alphabetical output. Let's see. Suppose I want to see like this, where the value is more than 16, more than 20,000 for net salary. The remarks will be rich, and those who are getting less than 20,000, they will be denoted as poor. So in the remarks, there will be rich and poor. So you'll ask me, sir, why we are doing this? This can be applicable in some like class results or university school results, or maybe some inventory valuation. Because suppose there are different kind of products in your inventory, different kind of raw materials, so you want to give some remarks, some remarks on the on depending on their values, the cost price or the selling price. So in those cases you can give this conditional formatting. Suppose there is a lot of values in the inventories, there are a lot of values in the asset department, so you gonna put some of the figures as the green, blue for your advantages. So in those cases you can give those if function or the conditional formatting. So let's start. So starting with the if function, if the net salary is greater than, I suppose, 18,000, first condition is closed, then the first output, I want to see them as rich. So because we are using the text function, so we will start with a double inverted comma and we will close with also the double inverted comma. Comma close. First output is closed. Then for the others, it will be poor. The same was happened in the TDS. It was more than 20,000, 1%, and for others 0. Here, more than 18,000, rich, and others will be denoted as poor. So once again, double inverted, then poor. So if I drag that, they will give us the value. So we can see the more than the values are 18,000, they're giving us the poor. And if I change these as 10,000, what will happen here? The poor. Now what I was talking, that now I want to give another conditional formatting on this text option, means in the remarks. So if I select this, if I go to conditional formatting, now there is option that text that contains. So far we were dealing with this greater than and less than. Now I'm dealing with the text that contains. I'm dealing with alphabetical field. So make it a rich and make it as, I suppose, green. Then okay. So the rich persons are getting greener. And once again, the second one, once again, the same idea, the text that contains. If I write that poor, and I'm making them something else like yellow. So they're getting jaundice. So from this sheet, we have seen the TDS, the conditional formatting, both in the alphabetical field and in the numerical field. So first try with this thing, the TDS, then do this, then do this. Now if you do this in your own, in your laptop, on your desktop, I think it will be more easier, more convenient for you to understand. In the next class, we will do some pivot chart. From then, bye. Happy learning.